So when we started looking at how we're going to build this project without interrupting our service of the commercial vessels coming into the port all week long, like Totem Ocean Trailer Express, like Horizon Lines, like all of our fuel barges, our fuel ships that are coming in, cargo ships, cement ships 8-9 times a year, where would they go? So the only way to do it was to phase our construction so that we're going to build the project without interruption of service. To accommodate the project funding, we had to design a phase project that allowed the extension and addition of lands to the north of the port and additional of lands to the south of the port. And if you just look up here at the map, this is where our docks are now, right in the green area. We've extended out here to the north with new docks, and to the south with new docks. In 2006, we started moving dirt, and we filled the north backlands, added 21 acres in this area here. And we placed 638,000 cubic yards of fill material. It's going to take 11 million cubic yards altogether when we're finished. We installed 9,500 feet of railroad track behind the port, constructed a haul road onto Elmendorf Air Force Base to haul the gravel for the fill of getting gravel from our military partners, and that saves us about $120 to $150 million on the total project, getting gravel from Elmendorf. We're doing them some favors, and they're doing us some favors, so it's kind of a win-win deal for both of us. 2007, we constructed the first phase of our traffic and service improvements in the existing port, rebuilt the Anchorage Port Road, filled the south backlands over by ABI. That was about 8.6 acres, placed 185,000 cubic yards of fill material, placed 15,000 tons of riprap protection, extended the drainage structures. It's like remodeling an old house and adding on to it. You've all had some experience doing that, and I'm sure you were on budget. Placed 24,000 tons of temporary armory rock, 25,000 tons of riprap, and 11,000 tons of filter rock at that point. We milled and galvanized and shipped 2,391 tons of sheet pile to our project site. In 2008, we began sheet pile driving for the dry and wet barge berths installed in the fendering and moorings for the dry berth, right down in this area right here, the yellow. That's basically finished now. It's not been turned over to us for commercial use, but it is, the barge docks are there, and we're using them for our construction purposes. So we also filled the north extension in 2008 with more gravel, 17 more acres. There's actually 60 acres of ground completed by the end of this year in this area from here over to here. That's 60 new acres of industrial ground that we didn't have before. And we'll have about 30 acres down here. And the rest of the 135 acres that we're creating is in docks all the way across here. So the next phase of construction that we focused on is the completion of the north extension. And we have a big deal coming up in August of 2010, the arrival of our new 100-gauge cranes. They're twice as high as the cranes we have now. There'll be 5 lanes, they're 100 feet at the bottom at the base, 5 highway lanes under each crane, and a passing lane outside of that, 2 passing lanes outside of that, and on the inside of that, next to the water, will be a one lane that we don't have now, so we can unload cargo, which is, other than containers, we'll be able to unload cargo with our cranes. So in August of next year, right, which is right around the corner, it was a long ways away a couple of years ago, but now it's next year, we have to be ready to receive those cranes, and we will be ready with our new crane rails and our docks complete here so we can put new crane rails here, so we can move one of our container ships that needs to have cranes to unload it. So we'll have all the waterfront facilities, surface work, crane rails, utilities installed and ready to go. Once the cranes arrive, then we can move our current operations off of our container traffic off of here, move them here, and then eventually, then in 2011, we'll start to tear out and demolish these old docks, condemn them, and we'll start to fill in the middle, the green and the blue, and then we're done. That's the year 2014 or 2015, depending upon the contracts and the amount of work that we can get done each year. I know that most of you probably haven't been down to the port lately, but it has been a couple of years. You may hardly recognize it. We do have tours. We had tours last year, every Sunday, and we had over 3,500 people attend those tours. So we do it every Sunday, starting, I think it's June 21st this year, every Sunday. And we have a couple of buses, and you'll meet at the Alaska Railroad headquarters building, and you can take a tour. We'll give you and your kids, grandchildren, a hot dog and a bottle of pop at the observation center, and a tour of the new construction, and give you a pretty good guided tour of what's going on and where we've been and where we're going. And also, I wanted to say before I forget it that next year, every other Monday, we'll have a cruise ship, Holland America Line. Will come into Anchorage Port at 7 o'clock in the morning, leave at 11 o'clock at night. There'll be, people will be, the 1,500 passengers will be getting off and taking tours around Anchorage and Talkeetna and Whittier and Cook Inlet. So that'll be nice. That'll be a first for us. We hope that will be able to continue on into the future. When we started down this road nearly 8 years ago, I had no delusion that this was going to be a cakewalk. I knew that we were beginning the largest construction project in the state, and to this date it is still the largest construction project going on. It's over $700 million, and the project will be 50% federal. Not everybody knows this yet, but they'll get it. 50% federal, 25% state of Alaska, and 25% Port of Anchorage, Municipality of Anchorage. It is a big project. We've encountered endless hurdles, but we have always been able to overcome them. And in the process, we have built a project that complies with and exceeds environmental conditions, that promotes mitigation measures, enhances the Ship Creek industrial area, and protects our wildlife. Like all the economic stakeholders in Cook Inlet, we are worried about the upcoming critical habitat designation for the Cook Inlet beluga whales. We've also been proactive and engaged with NOAA and the National Marine Fisheries since we began the expansion project. It is almost fair to say that they are a partner in our expansion project. We have worked really hard with them to gather data and participate in the process that they have established. The habitat designation is not about closing Cook Inlet to transportation and resource and economic development. It is about how we can live together and protect the environment. Can you imagine in your wildest dreams the federal government saying to no more ships into Cook Inlet? All transportation routes via water to the South Central are closed? No, it's not going to happen. For one thing, the military is not going to let it happen either, because we're an established military port, and like its military bases in Alaska, all 5 of them depend upon the port for its deployment of equipment and troops. The blue